So, like we were saying in today's video, we'll be talking about the UN office, our situation, our struggles, and how we are trying to maneuver these situations in China. And we had a visit from the UN office, I think, how many days ago?
I think, yeah, about a week ago.
A week ago. Yeah, I really, really appreciate them for this because somehow they always step in for us, and I hope they are doing same for other people. For other refugees in China. I know it's tough right now, and because they when they came here, they had to tell us the reason why they visited, because this is
the second time they're visiting in about a year. Visiting you, if even having the luxury of them visiting you,
yeah,
maybe twice in a year, it's
it's
really,
like a lottery.
it's a lottery. And
Yeah, it's a
and the reason
lottery.
why we are saying this is because we are a family, and like we feel like they really see some things that they really want us to actually get, and they want to get our own experience, like a family that is
Family,
still staying
yeah.
together and doing things differently,
Differently.
like trying to stay afloat, so they came out here to really do some visibility studies, and we were
Yeah,
so
and
happy about it.
if you're a refugee in China, there is one advice I would like to give you out there. If you're watching us right now, somehow I want to say that if you're under the United Nations, if you're under the United Nations in China, please try to always check your Gmail accounts and reply to their messages.
And
It's
especially
very important. Like
those how you call them,
the messages, like all the surveys,
the surveys.
all
Always
this,
try to complete those surveys.
complete.
It's not for them.
Yeah, it's
They
not for
might just be
them.
wanting to get those statistics and send to
And
the
sent to the
government.
government,
Yeah.
and many of us out here will ignore those messages and will not fill out those forms and send to them. And when they don't get enough evidence or proof of people going through the situation or through the survey, because we all know what survey does, and they have to send to the government looks like, oh, but not many people
Yeah,
are
it's not.
actually facing this situation. Why should we really care,
Yeah, at some
So
point, just
sometimes
do your part. Just do your part as a
and
refugee.
let
Just
them
try to
handle the
always do your
rest.
part.
Yeah.
Just try to always do your part. But like I'm saying, the getting the police registration document in China in some cities, this is something that I don't know how UNCHR is going to try to ease this, because this is a lot of issue. A lot of people have had their documents expired and they are being caught by the police and sent back home, where there's much more danger and a much more precarious situation, and their life are not guaranteed. Their lives are not guaranteed, and because of
I
just
even have
a
people
document.
who will tell me, oh, they wish they could just stay back in China, even if you don't get to be resettled, but just having the fact that you're here and you can figure out yourself, it's better
than where you are, where there's a lot of danger and you don't know how your tomorrow is going to look like. And that's one of the reasons why we are doing this video as well. Okay, so like we have had situations like talking about again the police and the police registration and having to contact the police in some situations like that. And let me tell you, there are times where UNCHR will maybe ask for the immigration to come and do check, but UNCHR doesn't communicate directly with your local police. Okay, they communicate with the National Immigration of China, which is in Beijing. Now the Beijing authorities will give, or the Beijing head office will forward that information to maybe your city or your provincial. In China we have provinces, and then like we are in Shandong province, and then from Shandong province now you have Jinan, and then from Jinan now you can begin to go now to the district. So you see that chain of command, and that's why one of the reasons why you have to renew your police registration, your documents earlier, because that's the chain of command.
It really takes about 2 months.
2 months, and sometimes more, because you see, UNCHR may hand that document out to the National Immigration in Beijing. They also have their own different things that they do. You as a refugee, they don't really care too much about you. They can spend about a month before sending it to your provincial. Before your provincial may take about a week or two sending it to your district. Your district again sending it to your local police before they want to come. Your document is expired, and when they come, your document is expired. If they are not nice enough,
always try to avoid unforeseen circumstances.
Try to renew your documents earlier.
Renew it earlier so that it can act.
Some of us are really actually a little bit, sometimes a little bit careless. Please. If you know you really fear for your life, don't be. At least just try as much as be cautious.
Kill you to
just be
remember,
cautious. Okay.
This is what makes you stay in this country. This is important. This document is important. Please send them out early.
And that's the part of it. The other part is, Now we're gonna have some officers that really don't care about you, don't give a damn. People who have visas, they have work documents, they also face this. And there are so many difficulties, guys. There are so many difficulties that you're gonna face with these authorities sometimes. Like, for example, there was one situation where my wife was pregnant and the authorities did not really understand the command that was sent from Beijing to actually come to investigate, because when you apply for your police for renewal of your certificate, the UNCHR will have to confirm if your address is real, and they're going to send by the authorities to do that. And that chain of command, like I told you, move from national immigration to your local police. And when it comes like that, and the people in charge actually don't understand, guys, this is what actually happened, and my wife was days to deliver our second child. Damn, it was horrible.
It was so, I mean, the experience, sometimes when I think about it, I feel like, oh my God, am I actually dreaming? Like, it was one of the worst. Do you know what it means? Like, you're pregnant and you get to go through the fact that you have to sleep in the detention center or cell, as we normally call it. I mean, the experience, I'm someone who doesn't even sleep with lights on and everything. The place, oh my God, I just don't know how to describe that. That situation was one of the, I can say it's one of the worst days of my life. Like, if I have to say what's the worst day in your life, I'll describe that situation, you know. My husband and I were just at home, and this police officer.
It was at night. This is 10 p.m.
I mean,
when you're
10
preparing to go to
p.m.
bed, right? You're preparing to go to bed, and you want to see some people. These guys didn't they didn't even come with uniform and stuff like that. So they just came in and then knocked on the door. They opened, and the guy out, the other guy, the only one guy was putting on the uniform, and then before we understand that we're the police, so they started asking questions like, okay, where, bring your documents out and stuff like that, and then we were asking like, what have we done? Because normally when the officers want to check, they check during their office hours, like from maybe
during their
and
office
they'll always
hours.
sometimes call you and tell that we are coming to check your address. These guys, they
most
didn't
of
even
them,
check,
they
and
call.
they just came in at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. we were preparing to go to sleep and stuff like that, and the guy was like, bring out your documents. And when I was trying to, I had a video about these guys. I really had a video about it, but at some point again I decided like, I'm just gonna delete the video because it's so hurtful.
It's so hurtful.
It's gonna, like, it's not really nice.
Each time I see that video, I feel like crying.
Yes, and it's a balanced situation because we also had some officers now that actually took care of the situation. So we didn't want to put them in a bad position where if this video go out and then all their efforts that they have done it goes to waste. You know what I'm saying? But this is what actually happened. It is recorded in UNCHR. They know this. The Jinan police and Jinan immigration know this. My wife slept at the detention center, and I even went there to actually see her because she was just days to deliver, just days to deliver.
I think it was like 3 days. I was supposed to even be admitted the next day because my doctor said I should come the next day, but because I told my doctor, no, when I get the cramps,
and then that's like, when you're gonna come.
I just want you to get to a point where I'm really, like, I've dilated to a point where I have to just go
to the hospital
and then give birth, because I don't really like to go there and I'm staying there for some time to dilate. So
because again, when you stay in there, that's a lot of money. How are you gonna have the money for
when you're staying there?
It's a lot of money. So you understand, you just want to cut costs at all means possible.
All means.
And we even wish we had the money, we would have just gone there, and then of course all of this is wouldn't have happened. But guess what? These guys came at 10 p.m., took my wife and asked me some kind of questions. This is China, respect the law. They always say this, guys. If you are watching this and you're in China and you've encountered this, you're gonna say, this is China, you must respect the law. You are in China. This is China, respect the law. This is China. The Chinese, they love this, okay? When they hit you, when they hit you and they feel like they want to intimidate you, this is China. You go back to your country, stuff like that. You go to Chinese media, you're gonna see this. When you face those racist Chinese, you're gonna see them.
They'll always tell you like, this is China. This is China. Go back to
your country.
They always just say, go back to Africa. You are not needed here. What are you doing the law here?
So these guys were saying that we brought all the documents, there was nothing wrong, and then I was like, now the way it was tense that evening, I got angry again, and I started exchanging words with the officers. I like, what has my wife done?
And I was even asking this officer, like, okay, you've just been sent to take me. What is my crime?
What is the crime? He said they won't say.
Because
they won't say that
you cannot come and pick a pregnant woman up.
At 10
let's say you did not know she was pregnant and you came there now, you notice she's pregnant. At least give me
A
a
heads
clue.
up of what's
Yeah,
happening.
give me a
No, they
clue
didn't.
of what's happening.
They
Like,
say the order is from above, so they must
yeah.
respect it. And then they took her like that 10 p.m.
I
And
mean,
it was I think it was just beginning of winter.
and babe, do you
Yeah.
know what? When they took me, right, I was still like, might be it's just like a 30 minute.
Yeah. No, no, that's
I
what they
was
said.
like,
That's what they said. That's what
I
they
was
said.
still hoping.
The officer said, okay, there are some questions that she can only answer at the after. This is after a heated argument with me and the officers, the guy that was in charge. He didn't even want to talk to me. I brought my own documents. Like, if there's any problem, I'm the head of the house. You take me to because my wife is pregnant. You take me to the detention center. I said, okay, no, there are some questions that we just want to ask her. It's just going to be for 30 minutes and want to
Oh
do it
my
on the
god.
video, on the camera. So in 30 minutes time, she's going to, and we're going to send her back and then the stuff like that. So
Then my husband told me, like, okay, when I finally told my husband that if it's like something like 30 minutes, it's okay, I can go with them. 30 minutes will not kill me. I just go and answer their questions. Like,
and
I
come
was
back.
so hopeful. I was like that person who is like,
And guys,
let me just
do you
go,
know,
let me
babe?
just go.
There was when all of these things was happening, I was like, maybe we have committed a crime that we don't know.
Yeah, we started thinking
we
like,
start thinking like, hey,
I checked my phone.
have
He
you?
had
Is there
to
any
check his
crime?
phone.
Check what?
We
What have we
checked
done? The
everything,
officers
like,
even took her phone, kept
yes.
it. No phone communication, guys. No phone communication.
So,
You understand what detention is, right?
yeah, so it was like I was so scared. Like, what have I done?
Now you start judging yourself. Like, did you sleep well? Maybe you slept and you offended someone in your sleep.
You start thinking about all the things
You've done, like
Might be.
maybe not even in China, maybe your past life. Like, you don't understand why officers will come to your house at 10 p.m., seize your phone, take your documents, look at it, and still take you for
Why
detention.
pregnant?
Why
Like,
pregnant? And the
when I
documents
told-
were showing there that it's just days for her to give birth.
when I told the UNCHR about this situation, they were like, this isn't true. This is not happening. I was like, it happened.
It happened. It happened.
I mean,
and you guys, if you're thinking that what most of the things we are saying is fugazi or whatever or fake, right? We have recordings
Yeah, we
of
have recording. We'll be
UNCHR.
putting them.
Yeah, we'll be
Maybe
putting them.
we'll put them
If you
up
like
there.
this video, share this video, and you want more of these stories and how we can
please
get your
share
lifestyle.
these videos,
Yeah.
because we really need it to reach many
To reach
people.
many people, many refugees. You know how turned the world is right now, and of
Yeah.
course, we know a lot of you are going through some of the difficulties. Our difficulties may not be
May not
compared
be
to
same like
some of you guys may be in actual worse situations. And of course, like I always tell you, NCHR, we are just kind of always staying positive because it can always be worse.
Yeah.
It would have been worse, or it can always get worse. But all you got to do is stay positive.
Yes, you gotta
Now,
stay positive.
back to the topic. When she went to
The police.
detention, it was almost winter, and where we live at in Jinan, the temperature is like in a valley, right? It's always usually cold. Yeah, it was almost approaching winter then, and then it was so cold. I had to drive. We have e-bikes here, okay? And at that time of the night, you don't have no taxi, even taxi, you have the money to pay. And guess what? I drove a bike. I had one of my friends there, and we drove a bike there because they said it was 30 minutes. So I drove. The police, they gave me an address that I followed. We drove a bike there, and then at that night it was so cold, and I went to the office, I went to the front desk, and I asked, my wife came here and about an hour ago, and they said they were going to just ask her some questions and they were going to release her and some stuff like that. So I explained to the officers that like she's pregnant and stuff like that. So they got to be quick because she got to take she has to take some drugs, some medicines, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the officers like, no, it's okay. They are still interviewing her. When she's done, they are gonna see.
And guys, what is that? They didn't interview me. I didn't have any
those officers were
interview.
saying those things like that, but there was no interview. They have already kept her
I
on
went there,
detention.
they just sent me in detention,
Detention,
and then
no
they
questions.
started watching me like somebody who has
That's done
committed
a crime. They are watching you like
I have to go to the bathroom. They'll follow me to the bathroom to pee.
This is pure
I have to
detention,
come back.
yeah,
It's
like pure detention,
I
like
mean,
a state criminal.
I slept on like something like a slab. It was so cold, and then
It's not something like a slab. It's a slab, just bare pure cement. and
yes,
stuff
it was
like that.
just
Yeah,
pure
a pregnant woman.
Yes, a pure cement.
Pure concrete. Yeah.
Concrete. We
Yeah,
call it concrete.
the pregnant
yeah.
woman sleeping on the concrete and cold. Winter, no heating. You know what I'm saying? With other maybe criminals that or some people who have committed some offenses.
I cried
like that.
the entire night. I was crying like, what's happening?
What still? Now, when I knew that okay, they're going to release her in about an hour because by then I knew they were still interrogating her and stuff like that. So I went to get her water and maybe some of her drugs, her medicine, so that when she gets out, it was really maybe past time. And then yeah. Now I go to a store, rode around that area. I found a little bit of store to get some water. I bought some water, came back to the officers. Like, now this was almost 2 hours again after
After that.
that. But the officers were still refusing me to see her. Like, no. And then when I came now, the atmosphere had changed. No one even listens to me. No one talked to me. They just told me to go and wait in one waiting room. Man, up to 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And nothing, they were not releasing her.
I too didn't sleep that night. I was just crying and crying.
There was a problem because
we
had
my husband is not coming. Me, I was thinking like, why is my husband not here yet? And he was outside there.
I was outside there struggling to get to her, to give her medicines, and then waiting that I could, after the detention, I would take her home. And then we had let our son at home.
Yeah.
Again.
He was
unattended.
Actually unattended. Like, that night was it was so dramatic. Everything was so dramatic. And
so I had to rush home.
I don't know how I managed to survive.
I had to rush home.
And my husband had to even come back and start texting, because we have immigration officers, like the immigration officers around
in Jinan,
us.
They actually
they know our case, they know what's going on, they know everything about our situation in China, who we are and all that. So they always, even when they come here, they send us a text or something.
Yeah, they always call. And they always do this within office hours.
This was really strange for us. That's why we started thinking like, might be there's a crime.
Like, seriously, you start judging yourself for things you don't even know. Like, you're scared because, guys, these are the simple situations like this that you are going home. You are going back. When I say home, it's not like you're scared to go back home to your country, but with a situation like a refugee, when you're running from your country, you're scared because you don't know. It's not safe.
It's not safe.
You know,
you have to.
And you just going back like that. Let it be that, okay, you even actually deserve going back because you committed a crime. You know what I'm saying? But guess what, guys? When I came back and took care of my son, I started texting the other immigration officers in Jin. I did not sleep. I started texting them. That's why I texted them on to get to one lady, which she knew, she knows our situation very well. It was that lady that actually tried to that dissolve everything, and she was so surprised that this thing has happened. She was the one who even tried to get my wife out in the morning.
Yeah, the next day. When I was in there, I kept on asking the time. What's the time? What's the time? I was like crying, everything. I was just so tortured. I mean, tortured both physically, mentally, emotionally. This was my first time of sleeping out of my home.
And on the concrete, while pregnant, about to give birth maybe 2 days after.
I mean, the labor pain.
And that's the truth, guys. When she actually left there, it was just 2 days later, and she gave birth to her daughter.
Labor pain just started. In fact, the labor pain just started. Like, every pain in this world just came in at that time. I was like, oh God, I'm finished. So in the morning, it was around 7 a.m. They came and they asked me, like, I asked that, can I get a phone or something? They said no. Then later, about 10 minutes, they came and gave me a phone and told me that the immigration officer, the lady that my husband texted, is calling. And the lady called me and I picked up. They gave me the phone. I spoke to her. I told her that I don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm going to die here. I don't know. They have just come and picked me up. I don't know what I've done.
This is in the morning, guys, around 8 a.m. Tell me. 8 a.m. She actually slept there.
Yeah. I was like, tell me what I've done. What's happening? What's going on now? I'm like, the lady said, calm down. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm coming to you. Give me 30 minutes. Let me round up. I'm coming right now. Like, don't panic, be okay, stay there, I'm coming. So I was like, oh God, please let this lady come. I mean, I knew that she'll come and there'll be a change. I felt it. In about 40 minutes, she came, and then she asked them to take me out of there. And then they took me out of there, and she was like, what happened? Why will you guys do this? They said, you didn't even inform our office that this is what is happening. You guys just took her. Because the guy the police officer who took me in said they have given him orders from Beijing.
Yeah.
Like, from the capitals, that they should bring me in. Like, he just got a call from his
supervisors or whoever that they should bring in. So you don't even know what reason.
So I don't know the reason. I kept on asking the reason, because the reason would have even made me feel better.
And this is a display of pure misunderstanding, misinformation, and someone who hates. Because again, if you are not just someone who hates, you try to find out why. Because I kept on asking them, why are you taking this person in at this condition? She's pregnant. You would have asked your supervisor, like, the person you have
have asked me to take in
he has this medical condition and is pregnant.
There might be a change.
There might be a change.
Yeah.
Can we just
pick them up tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
I even offered that. Okay, I'm not going
if it's
anywhere.
just question, because you said it's just for questioning. If it's just for questioning, then
why can't you come tomorrow in the morning? I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I've not committed any crimes.
You can take our passports, take everything and keep. Just come in the morning.
I prefer to stay there from morning to evening than sleeping overnight in that cell. That was the one thing that was torturing me. Like, it was so traumatizing, because if I had left in the morning and then they went for the questioning or whatsoever, and then till evening, I know they would have found out that there's no problem. Rather than me going there in the night, sleeping over in detention, it was so traumatizing. So when that lady came in the morning, I was like relieved. She took me out of the detention center, then took me there, and she had to like shout at them like, don't do this, it's not good, blah blah blah. And then she told me like, it's okay, that I should not take it too hard, that they just
and guys, it's because of this lady that we decided not to maybe publish the video of what happened, because I recorded the video the evening when the police officers were in our home or in our house, actually trying to do whatever they were doing. It was really a tense moment, you know what I'm saying? And this was a tense moment that I begin to understand that in some other cities, like I always say, it could get worse, because now I was furious. I had to protect my wife and my family, and the police officer, with him being him, and I'm a foreigner confronting him, he did not want to take that and even understand whatever situation. And I asked him, you have a wife? Have your wife been this heavily pregnant? And they take attention without actually understanding what the problem is. Just a simple order that you should take this person, and when you find out the person is a foreigner, you don't give a damn to understand whatever situation. You just say, respect China, this is China, this is the law. Because but guess what? That was not even the law at some point.
Aside from having law, you should have humanity. For example, yes, there is law. Law says you should do this, and then the law comes now. When you came in, you thought you were just coming to pick a normal person. You came. This person was not just the normal person. This person was heavily pregnant, and you even went through everything that showed that this person will be given birth in 2 or 3 days time, but you still insisted. Like,
and the person that is okay, that is the law. That's why I say it's okay to do your job if this person is a criminal. But guys, when she went there, like we said, this is different if you're gonna misunderstand when she says okay, the law. But guess what? If the person is a criminal, then it's okay. The law can take full course. But you taking that person, and then when they took her to the detention center, they didn't ask her one question.
Nothing. I didn't have any interview.
No interview, anything. They just went and then let her sleep on the slab. The next morning, when the female officer came, the female officer that knows our situation.
So I knew in the morning they'll start processing my case or whatsoever. If it's something I've done in the morning, they just told me to sign some documents, and then they asked me if I've eaten. I say, who have appetite in this kind of place? Really? Are you guys asking me if I've eaten? I can't even stay like 2 days without eating, because the way I am feeling right now. And then they told me I signed things. I asked them, who asked you guys to, like you said, Beijing, is it the UN office? Because
they didn't say nothing.
My mind.
The only time you're gonna have officers coming to check you us, unless you are a criminal.
Yeah.
But the only time as a refugee where you're gonna have officers chasing you or coming to your apartment to check you out, that's the normal norm, is when they have been sent by Beijing to either check if you are still maintaining your address. This is a normal norm for UN.
Yeah.
And this process, like I told them, is always causing tension. And at some point, some people always go back home, because not only tension by the fact that you can face those officers, tension in the essence where at times their documents cannot even be renewed.
Yeah.
You know that they cannot confirm, and if they don't confirm, UN will not renew your documents.
Yeah.
And that's it. Now, so guys, let's go to the positive side. We're beginning to bring out the light.
Yeah.
And
we have spoken a lot about the negative side. Yeah.
Let's look at this the how this lady actually helped us, because it was that lady. I guess if it was not for that lady, I'm sure she would have spent some days there, and the
Yeah.
situation I'm getting worse. Maybe I'm pregnant with my daughter, and we don't know what might have happened at that point. You
She
know what I'm saying?
actually really
Yeah.
apologized on their
On their behalf.
behalf,
Yeah, that's
and
the reason why I didn't publish that video. I had
yeah,
actually
and she
recorded the
said,
video
please, I should not hold it
as a
as a
grudge.
grudge.
Yeah.
So all those things made us like, okay, but she
Yeah.
was so
She
nice.
was
There is
nice.
no
Yeah.
need publishing a video like that, and somebody actually saved the situation. At the end of the day, it was okay. The only thing is I had those cramps and everything, and I had to be rushed to the hospital the following 2 days, right?
Yeah, two
Yeah, in
days.
two
And 2 days
days
later, she gave birth to my
I
daughter.
gave
That's
birth.
one of the another thing that makes me like, after all, okay, I still have my daughter, and
Yeah.
it's okay. I can manage this, like stuff like that. And that was, it's okay. We can just let it pass. We just let it pass.